Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Black Ladies Talking About Shit. I feel like every time we do an intro, we call it something different.
That's
But
fine.
this is our roundtable conversation. We're having discussions about things that impact our community that involve mental health, relationships, emotional intelligence, and the like. My name is Doña, and I'm here with my two amazingly beautiful co-hosts. Just look at them for a second, y'all. Just take a moment. Just
Well, we have to say something to be seen. So make sure you say
oh
something
no, that's not
free.
true. On mine, all three of us are here.
Oh, on mine, it's only one
Yeah,
at a time.
I
Sorry.
know.
Thank you.
I can see all y'all. So, ladies, go ahead and introduce yourselves, please.
My name is Bree, and I believe that through conversations we heal. We don't only heal individually; we heal collectively. So these conversations I'm always excited to have. I also teach individuals how to find freedom in their bodies through movement, and you can find me at Witnessing Bree on all social media platforms.
I love it. I love it. My name is Sabrina Wells. I am an emotional wellness coach. And I am here to help others find their light. Um, and it's a very important thing to do. I'm only here to help, and the work is in their hands, and I'm happy to be a part of this team and able to share thoughts and resources on these great topics that we discuss. So thank you for having me here, ladies.
Of course, of course. And once again, yo me llamo Doña. My name is Doña. I am a teacher, mother, partner, thought partner, sister, daughter, all the things. I'm an educator. And I am here to facilitate today's conversation, in which we are going to discuss dopamine addiction and how that could impact your relationships. Now, dopamine is one of those words that has definitely become a buzzword all across social media, and we hear it a lot. And it's kind of difficult to discern whether dopamine is a good thing or a bad thing, or we need to stay away from it or avoid it altogether. But dopamine is a hormone. Just like all the other hormones in our body, it is signaled to do something. And essentially, dopamine is what drives dopamine is pleasure. So, a lot of times in our lives, there are things that we know we should be doing, like walking or exercising or reaching out to a friend or staying on top of our work assignments. And because those things aren't necessarily associated with pleasure, it's not easy for us to find the drive or motivation to do those things. Hence why it's so easy for us to pick up a cell phone and scroll on social media, because every time we look at a video that entices us in some sort of way, we're getting a hit of dopamine or a hit of pleasure. How does this translate to relationships? Well, sometimes we can confuse the person who is available, the person who's giving us attention, because every time we get those good morning texts, those have you eaten texts, those good night texts, we're getting a hit of dopamine. Oh my gosh, this person's interested in my well being. I feel so seen. I feel so this. I feel so that. And we may or may not even be aligned with this person. We may not even share values with this person, but because they're giving us all of this attention and we're getting all these hits of dopamine every time they call us or text us or video chat, we're thinking, oh my goodness, this person is so wonderful. So, from my perspective, fixating on just what's feeding us when it comes to attention and dopamine could hinder our ability to connect with people in a very real way. Um, that's my spiel for now. Ladies, what are your thoughts so far?
Like you said, the brain needs dopamine and pleasure or reward, and the way we're constantly getting these hits, like you said, while watching social media, and just like self pleasure, you can overindulge in that, like you had said earlier. All these different things, and so I think it's being mindful that we are so used to in this society to having dopamine all the time, 24/7. You just scroll, hit these videos. It gives you dopamine because you feel like you learned something, or even like you said in relationships where, oh, this person like I think, I don't know if there's a way to mitigate that. I think awareness, to say, I don't think we should be available all the time. I think that's one thing in dating where we feel like the more available we are, the better. Like if I'm
Mm-hmm.
more available, he'll like me, and I just need to show up, even in like friendships, wanting to show up constantly. So I think just if some having your phone on do not disturb, I think sometimes is healthy. Because even when you post on social media, you want to get on there and be like, did someone like my post? And you can feel like this is giving me validation, and then he texts right away, oh, he likes you. And if he doesn't, then it's bad. So I
Mm-hmm.
think like regulating ourselves, like finding a way to regulate ourselves with our phones, whether it's one of those screen apps which will check you real quick and let you know how much you're really on your phone,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, you're blocked. What? That happened to me the other day, and I was like, I cannot get. And then you have to like tell yourself, oh, I'm going to go into my settings and take it off. So then it's like you're actually being able to say, you know what, like, do I need to respond to people right now?
Right.
Do I need to be on my phone? So yeah.
I think I'm the old lady of the group, literally and figuratively, because my lifestyle is about discipline and it's about delayed gratification.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I can understand the dopamine thing. Yes, I totally get that. Like you said, the post, oh my God, has anybody commented yet? The good morning text. I said good morning. Is he or she gonna say it back? How long do I have to wait? Um, but I think as a society, we are crippled. We want everything right now. I mean, when I was a kid, I just needed to be home by the time the street lights came on. My mama didn't know where I was. She knew I was outside. I mean, I knew where I could go and where I couldn't go, and I followed the rules. If somebody called, they had to wait till you came back home and check
Mm-hmm.
your message or whatever. I mean, yes, I was a child when these things were happening. When I was a teen, we had beepers, and by 18 and 19, we got Nextel two ways. But yeah, that whole everything is ready right now is insane to me.
Yes.
Um, no one wants to wait for anything. You don't want to wait for food. You don't want to wait to lose weight. You don't want to wait to get that coat that you want. Like layaway. Don't nobody do layaway no more. Like I'm just gonna run up this credit card and just
Mm-hmm.
pay $5 a month for the next 30
Mhm.
months for it. And so I think it's a systemic problem. It's the we want dopamine hits everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, and there's just to me it's just a lack of discipline. It's and they and there's no buy-in to waiting.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's just no buy-in, as well as there's no autonomy to allow people to exist. If I text you and you don't hit me back, I am dictating what you should be doing. You should be calling me. Your phone's in your hand. Why didn't you respond?
Hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it is just tethering us to each other, and we're not living in reality. We're not being present with what is. We are just very much creating this false world that is setting us up for failure in so many different ways.
Absolutely. And it reminds me of the video that I sent to you the other day, Sabrina, about people pleasing and how when we lead our lives as people pleasers, we are not allowing anyone to get to know us as our authentic selves. Because if you two are contacting me and saying, "Hey, let's go do this," or for example, my birthday's coming up, and you two are reaching out to me and saying, "What would you like to do?" And I'm saying, "No, no, let's do what you want to do." That's going to work for a little while, you know. Someone might say, "Oh, I also have a birthday in January, so that's fair. Maybe she just wanted to do something collaboratively, blah, blah, blah." But then after a while, you think, we don't know what Doña likes to do because she's always saying, "Let's do what you want to do. Let's do what you want to do. Let's do what you want to do." The same can be said for all of these things as far as the instant gratification and not knowing the benefit of delayed gratification. And it's so interesting because we want our kids to practice it. We want our kids, we are so quick. We going into this store. I've heard people say it to their children. We going into the store.
Mm.
If I don't offer you nothing, you ain't getting nothing. But the moment we see, done went all the way off the list, 13 more things in the basket in the buggy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay because I saw it and I thought it was cute, or I saw it and it smelled good, or whatever. You know what I mean? So I gotta have it. Um, and yeah, we just get so wrapped up in, just like what Sabrina was saying, we get so wrapped up in everything right now because no one talks to us about the benefit of delayed gratification. One of the things that I can say is a huge benefit of delayed gratification is having less stuff in your house. Having less stuff in your house, having less stuff in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
because I had the wonderful opportunity to move about 2 years ago. And it wasn't the moving that was the great opportunity. It was the opportunity to box everything up and look at things and say, do I really need this? Am I just bringing this because it's here in this place? And when I tell you the mental shift that happens when you don't have to walk into a room that's completely cluttered all of the time, oh my gosh, the freedom, the freedom. But again, you have to have the buy-in. You have to have conversations with people who are experiencing that type of life and sharing with you how amazing and how beneficial it is. So I hear
Just to
both. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, as far as like the thing aspect, I think the shopping is the dopamine hit that we get in that moment, but we're not looking beyond that moment. Do
Yes.
am I really going to still love this later? Am I just loving it right now? And for me, who used to go shopping every day during my lunch for years. Every
Mm.
day I was spending money, but because it was on clearance and it was on sale and it was little things, I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't realize until I had a healing regimen that it was retail therapy. I just needed an outlet for myself. And as soon as I started healing, I abhor going to the store. Now I don't, I'm good. I don't want to go for anything. And so I think it helps for some of us that are hoarders or some of us who do use retail therapy. Before you buy that thing, do I really want this? Is this going to bring me an extended period of happiness and joy? Or is it just for me, it was the thrill of the discount. Like I got it for 80% off. Like that's my dopamine hit. Oh my God, I got it 80% off. And so what is my why? You
Mm-hmm.
know, what is my why for this? So I just wanted to jump in on that. Thank you.
No, yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And it's all intertwined. It's all intertwined. It's all connected. It's all related because we can even go when it comes to relationships, people celebrating Valentine's Day, for example. It's not about the experience of spending time with your loved one, doing things that you both enjoy. It's about what you get me. What you get me? Receiving gifts not even one of your love languages, but you over here waiting to see what somebody got you. So, yeah.
I think I want to add in. I think the age we live in, we talk about dopamine hits and like Sabrina said, discipline. The age we live in with AI, it has created that any platform that you go to now you're having pop-up ads, you're having people selling things at a higher rate, you know what I mean, and then it's listening to your conversation. So now when you go into Google, it's pulling up all these things you've been talking about, right? And so you can go onto an app and just put do this X, Y, and Z, and it does it. So I think when we talk about withstanding, we need to also talk about like having times that we social media detox, as you said, like because those are triggers, because we that's the quickest form of dopamine is your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Henceforth, we see so many people, like you were saying on Valentine's Day, we get all the ads and we have these ideas of what if he or she loves you, they'll do. And then it's like, oh, that. And then your mind is programmed for that. So it's like, how often is, I think, especially too in relationships when you're starting off, like to maybe having like rules on when you can contact each other. And I think social media is a good place not to start because you're going to go on there looking at, for one, you can fantasize and make up a whole story about somebody based off their social media and be like, ooh, da da da. And then you're creating this fantasy, is giving you these dopamine hits. And then you're creating connection because you made up a story based off of this, and you're too far in. I know, I've been there. You're too far in. You're not gonna come out until it's too late. You know what I mean? But it wasn't real. But you had this false connection that we're the same and we're gonna have a great life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know him, Lisa. You don't know him, David. You don't know her. Okay. It was all the signals going off. You're saying the right things. It's not real.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And why that hit me in the
Had to
chest?
make
My
a
name ain't
connection.
Lisa. Goodness gracious.
That's why I was like, Lisa's listening, and
Lisa's
she knows.
listening.
She don't need that man. They ain't got nothing in common, Lisa. You know it, girl. Okay, you know
But
it,
she,
boo.
Oh
but
my
she don't
goodness.
know. She really
Right.
But
Right.
and she doesn't, because it's so blurred what's
Mhm.
real and what's not, because the mind
Mhm.
doesn't know. Like, we talk about trauma sometimes, right? The body doesn't know real or perceived threat. Just
Right.
like we don't know what, when it comes to that dopamine hit, that thing going off,
Mhm.
it's releasing endorphins in your body. You're feeling good. You want to keep experiencing that. So and it's unfortunate that we don't know. Like, I think we just need to educate ourselves more on, like, what dopamine is, why this conversation is important, because I think, like you said, it's a buzzword. We hear it, but do we really know?
Mm-hmm.
Because we need it, right? Like everything in moderation, we need dopamine. That's what helps you get tasks done and complete goals and all these things. You need it, but we're not supposed to always be here.
Right.
Life has, like, the way the body works and the brain works, you need time to build the dopamine up. That's why when you hear people, they've reached a goal or they've created something, they have a big creative crash, because that's their body settling in. So our
Mm-hmm.
nervous system is all out of whack because we're addicted to dopamine. We're addicted to feeling good and like you said, having pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in addition to, or I'm sorry, in relation to what Bree said about having boundaries around when you talk to someone you're getting to know, someone you are dating. I've seen videos from this woman who, she's a dating coach, and she specifically talks about connecting with people on the app Hinge. And she talks about investing time and just recognizing that it's going to take time to build a connection. It's not going to happen overnight, but quantity helps. She said, but she's encouraging people to take 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. And those 15 minutes could be swiping through or responding to messages. But she's not saying, girl, you better budget out 3 hours a day. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be a second job. But again, to what we were talking about in the beginning, as far as people mistaking being available as a good thing. It's, people ask you, oh, well, when are you available to meet? I tell people straight out, probably in about 3 weeks. It's gonna be this weekend, specifically. And sometimes, a lot of times, I was met with a, wow, are you sure you're, ready to date? Yeah, but I like me a whole lot. Thank goodness. And I have other things to do than just to be available. And sometimes it rubs people the wrong way. And you have to recognize, first of all, that person just isn't aligned with you. If they're not curious as to why, if they just take that as a meh, then that's okay. Whether it be a platonic or romantic connection, it's okay for people not to understand. It's okay for people not to be curious, but we can't interpret their disdain or their discomfort as something that we need to fix or we need to shift ourselves. Oh, maybe I should be more available if I say I'm ready to date and things like that. No, so I hear us all going back to awareness, quiet time, times in which we are not consuming media, times in which we are with ourselves. Maybe we're creating, maybe we're not doing anything, maybe we're just staring at a wall. We don't always have to do something, but just like Sabrina was saying, our society has conditioned us to believe that if we're not doing, if we're not productive, then we are worthless. What are we even doing with our lives if we're not producing something or interacting or connecting or taking some sort of action? So as far as your perspective on this, ladies, what do you think is the most impactful first step someone can take if they would like to kind of detach and recover from all this dopamine seeking and dopamine addiction?
I say education first. Like educate yourself on what dopamine is so you can start to see the areas that you're getting these high dopamine hits. Because if you can understand what it is, you can say, I'm on IG a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many platforms, everyone has that one, right? So then you can start to identify and do. I think it's healthy. I think one of you ladies said this earlier, to do detoxes, not like all at once, like some big extreme. Maybe you just said hours in the morning. Okay, I only get on my phone between 9 and 5. Start there. Like also start small and tangible steps.
Yeah, I agree with Bree. I mean, anything you want to change, step one is always self awareness. How is this impacting me, and um, what am I trying to do? Why am I trying to do it? And let me educate myself on it. But we do have to. We're saying the word, but we also have to understand the meaning. Dopamine addiction. This is no different than doing drugs. This is no different than drinking. It's no different than any of it. Is an addiction. People cannot just set their phones down and walk away. I've been trying to get my 17-year-old to just not get on his phone for the first hour of the day, and it has been a fight. Not a fight, but like my kid is very easygoing. Like, yeah, okay, no problem. Buy in, sending him all the things. He can't stop
Mhm.
himself. He literally will be in the bathroom for an hour in the morning on his phone, just on his phone. And I've told him so many reasons and things. It's not good to sit on the toilet that long for your body. I've talked about, what the dopamine hits and the this and the that and whatever. And I told him, I was like, yeah, the other day during my meditation, I stared at the ceiling for 45 minutes. I'm sure he probably thought I was insane. And so I mean, but he knows his mother is who I am, so it wasn't too strange. But I'm sure anybody else would be like, what the hell's wrong with her? But because I'm like, what happened to the days when you used to sit in a car and just stare out the window? What happened to the days when you sit on a train and just notice the people around you?
Mm-hmm.
And you would actually be aware of who was acting a little weird and shifty instead of being oblivious to the fight that just broke out behind you because you ain't paying attention to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like boredom is not a thing anymore. But the problem is boredom breeds creativity. Boredom brings critical thinking. Boredom is a great tool that we are losing
Yeah.
because no one wants to be by themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
so you have to be comfortable being by yourself. Um, but a lot of people are not able to do that. And so, like Bree just said, try small, tangible things. I mean, because like you say, I think it's bananas to be like, I'm gonna be off for all of January. Like, why? Why would you torture yourself that way? It's not necessary. I mean, for what? But like you say, maybe it's 9 to 5. Maybe I start my day an hour at the beginning of the day and an hour of my end of my day, no screens. To me, that seems so reasonable, but it's not if it's an addiction. So
Right.
we just have to figure out what makes sense for us. And if we don't know how to do it, seek help. Seek somebody that can help you kind of figure it out because there are ways to do this, but it just depends on who you are and what you need. So, ask for help if you need help.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think a combination of both of the things that you ladies shared, and yeah, just really knowing the kind of person that you are. Like, if you're the type of person who's a numbers person, download one of those apps that Brie was talking about that will tell you how many minutes. So you can, because you might ask someone, how long are you on Facebook a day? I think like an hour or two. And really is like 8. And you just, because the time just passes. And if
Yes.
you have no way to track that data, like you might be a data person who seeing those numbers will really kind of bring something to you. Or you might just be the person who needs that little visual reminder on your phone to say, hey, it's been an hour. Oh, crap. Oh, damn. An hour is gone. Another suggestion that I have is to support yourself with some other activity. For example, if your goal is to not utilize your phone for the first hour and the last hour of the day, um, first things first, and we talked about this before, get yourself an alarm clock, a regular schmegler alarm clock. That's step one. And then put your phone in another room, put your phone in an inaccessible place so it breaks up that pattern, because we're just following patterns over and over and over again. And it's so easy to just fall into them. But if you notice yourself reaching for your phone during that hour, give yourself something else to do. Say, if I reach for my phone, I will, I don't know, take 2 deep breaths, or write a sentence in my journal. I'll do 5 push-ups. I'll go talk to my dog, whatever. Just give yourself something so that you can continue to interrupt that pattern. Something that I recently did over the last, I think, like month or so, is not using my phone while I'm driving, because every stoplight I was scrolling. And like Sabrina's talking about, as far as awareness, things would happen while I'm driving, a 1.5 ton vehicle, and I'm completely oblivious because I'm using every moment of stillness to distract myself.
Mhm.
And it just became, I don't know, it became too much, I think. And it doesn't happen to everyone, but sometimes those little moments of not being aware and something kind of shaking you a little bit is a sign, like you should not be distracted right now. So again, just taking the time to recognize what kind of person you are and what you need, and not being, if you don't know, ask someone for help, ask someone for support. um because sometimes it just takes the right kind of questions and the right kind of observation to get you what you need, and you don't have to do all this all by yourself. There's people who are here, there's people here who will gladly help you.
And I
uh
do want to say, oh, I'm
mhm.
sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
Um, like Sabrina said, dopamine addiction is a real thing. It's so a screen addiction.
Mhm.
And so they go hand in hand. I do want to give one resource if you're struggling, because uh, some of these generations have always grown up with a cell phone. They don't know what it's like not to have a screen in front of them. Because I have it, like Sabrina was saying, her son. I have a younger sister that's 22, and she is always on her phone. Like it can be very, very challenging. They have lock boxes. I used one in 2020, and so you put it in there and you put a timer on, and so it'll open up. You can get it out, of course, earlier, but it makes you aware. Like she was saying, awareness is key. If you have to keep pressing that code to get it open, one is either going to deter you, and you'll be like, "Dang!" Like you were, and because the way addiction works, I don't know if that will deter people, because I don't I see how strong the addiction is. So I'm curious. This will off kind of the studies on that. You know what I mean, and how to, I guess, in a sense, reprogram your brain. But like Sabrina said, like definitely like reach out, because it's like any addiction, and it is hard to break. So give yourself grace. Give yourself grace.
Mhm.
I think we touched on this. I'm not sure, but I just also want to bring up that do- the dopamine that we're getting from other people can be easily misconstrued as love, and it's not, because no one is really teaching us what love is and what it's about. Chemistry is not love. Dopamine hits is not love. Commitment is love. Showing up is love, and a bunch of other things are love. And so we also have to recognize that just because someone does something that pushes our little dopamine button doesn't mean that we're meant to be together. It doesn't give a full accurate picture, and a lot of us are getting into long-term situations like raw sex, like moving in, like having kids, like determining this is the one, off of NRE, new relationship energy,
Mhm.
dopamine hits. That shit will lie. And then you want to look back and be like, I don't know what happened. I don't understand how I got here. I thought we was so in love. You did not know what you were doing. You were
Right.
going off of these chemical reactions in your body and nothing else. And so I think it's also important for all of us to really understand what a relationship is for,
Mhm.
understand what love is, understand just all of these things when relating to people so that you can be really crystal clear about what you're getting yourself into. Um, yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there.
I completely agree. I
Mhm.
completely agree. I mean, a very easy boundary to have with someone is, hey, let's not text while we're at work.
Yes.
If they ain't got no job, well,
You know,
not while you're at work then.
look,
Whatever.
exactly.
Whatever,
When
Lisa.
you at work,
Whatever.
they got a job.
Maybe they're in between. Whatever. Yeah. Uh but yeah, I completely agree. We are absolutely, oh well they're always there for me. Are they? Are they just available to text or are they emotionally there for you? If you were moving, would you call this person? Would they show up to help you move? Yeah, there are things that we have to just pause. And I think the especially during the NRE phase, having that break and not talking to each other allows us to just think and ponder. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we overthink things a little bit too much, but we may get a chance to kind of reflect on our last conversation and kind of think more about it and see how it feels in our body and yada yada yada. So yeah, there's a lot there. Um, yeah, I appreciate you all listening and tuning in to this conversation. This one is it's multifaceted and it's definitely deep, but I hope that we were able to provide y'all with some considerations, some resources, and of course, if you need more support, you can book a free session with Sabrina at sabrinawells.org. And you can contact Miss Bree on all platforms, Witnessing Bree. I was about to say witnessingbree.com. Witnessing Bree on all
It's
social media
coming. You
platforms.
you 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 prophesizing right
It's
now. I
coming.
appreciate it. We putting into the universe. I
It's on
appreciate
its
that.
way. It's absolutely on its way. Did you ladies have any other closing remarks or thoughts you want to share?
It's a new year, so let's try some new things.
There you go.
Perhaps we can approach our dopamine addiction in some different ways, be opening our mind, expanding our mind to see what else is out here for us beyond these screens, beyond Hinge and Facebook dating and all these other things. um and perhaps what's going on in here, what's going on here, just
Mm-hmm.
kind of tuning in with ourselves a little bit more. I think that would be a great way to start the year, because in fact, young Doña over here is doing a revolutionary thing of tenderness
Mm-hmm.
this month. Yes, you're doing
Yes.
tenderness. She's focusing on tenderness. I'm focusing on being my full authentic self. Bree, what you working on?
I was just I am working on so I recently gave up drinking as a way to just be able to regulate my emotions better. Sometimes we do different things around other people to maybe feel to fit in or to feel more comfortable. And so starting to question, why do I do these things? If I feel like I need to have a drink to be more comfortable around someone, is that really someone that I want to be around? And just also when it comes to discipline and self control, like Sabrina said, we're in a new year. And if you are looking to be different, if you are looking to grow, if you are looking to expand, you have to become a different version of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Can't keep doing the same thing. So that requires a certain level of discipline, of release, of shedding, and coming back to the principles and the practices that enrich you. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm excited though.
I love that. I love that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and Lisa and David, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Y'all reach out, book a session, get a class, do some breath work. We love y'all.
All links will be in all the bios. We love you all. Go put your legs up a wall. Talk to you soon. Bye.